City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myInspartners.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you looking for a place to host company get-togethers, team meetings, or group events? Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln is the perfect place to host your gathering with private bays available to meet with clients while you swing the sticks and improve your game. Back 9 Golf offers traditional golf opportunities while also providing fun games and activities for non-traditional golfers on their top-of-the-line full-swing simulators. Learn about their corporate memberships today and gather your favorite groups together at Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln, just off of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. Back 9 Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for their members. Whether it's a range session to get accurate club distances, 18 holes with some buddies, or a one-on-one lesson with Back 9's PGA teaching professional, their top-of-the-line full-swing simulators are there to help you lower your score in perfect conditions. Learn about Back 9's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back 9 Golf, the premier indoor golf experience.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
Good evening, everyone. This is Nick Wyman with your sports update. The Nebraska baseball team returns to Hawks Field at Haymarket Park on Tuesday with a midweek matchup with the Kansas State Wildcats. The Wildcats got the best of the Cornhuskers in the first meeting of the season in February, while Nebraska defeated Kansas State in the second meeting between the schools in late March. First pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. Central Time at Haymarket Park between the Cornhuskers and the Wildcats. On Sunday, the Houston Rockets avoided a sweep by taking down the Los Angeles Lakers by a score of 115-96 in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Amen Thompson led the Rockets' offense with 23 points to keep their season alive. The Lakers lead the series 3-1. The Kansas City Royals capped off a 3-game series against the Los Angeles Angels with a walk-off home run on Sunday. To win the game, Royals outfielder Lane Thomas launched a game-winning 3-run homer in the bottom of the 10th inning to hand the Kansas City Royals a 3-game sweep. Up next, the Royals make a road trip to battle the Athletics as that 3-game series begins on Tuesday, April 28th. And for the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
Welcome in. It is that time, 10 o'clock here on a Monday evening. Nick Wyman holding it down at 1040 O Street alongside DeMornay Pierson-El for the Don't Punt Hour, Monday through Thursday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central Time here in the capital city. DeMornay, it was a stacked weekend of sports across the world. The NBA playoffs are going on, Stanley Cup, United Football League, the NBA draft, or the NFL draft. I don't know why I said NBA. I was just looking at the scores and saw the Magic one, so I got a little excited. But the NFL draft, I don't think we can bury the lead here. We can talk about Emmett Johnson and him officially getting drafted, the lone Husker. Obviously, a lot of other Huskers getting signed after the fact, after the draft, like a lot of undrafted free agents do. But before we get into it, DeMornay, I have to ask you how your weekend was and what you've been up to.
Not too bad. It was a good weekend, solid weekend for the Raiders. The weather was here and there, but an enjoyable weekend.
Yeah, the weather is interesting. The Zach Bryan concert that everybody and their mother went to on Saturday. I saw all the photos and everything about the mosh pit outside Memorial Stadium for a couple hours before they let everybody in. But concert went on, didn't go as long as they expected, but sounds like everybody had a good time regardless of the situation that was at hand. But yes, you mentioned the Raiders getting Fernando Mendoza. They have Kirk Cousins there as well. But Emmett Johnson had to wait a while to hear his name get called. I was sitting here, so I was here on Saturday, and I told Todd Euler, I said, oh, his name should get called pretty early in this first hour of the draft. I was sitting here around 11:45. I'm like, this is really weird. Did I miss it? I'm refreshing, looking back to see, because the picks come really quick. So I was like, did I miss him? No, we had to wait till about 2:00 in the afternoon to officially hear his name get called at the NFL draft, which was very surprising because there were running backs going off the board. Mike Washington went off the board. Indiana's running back went off the board, and just kind of waiting. And I think that's the worst part about the draft as a player. You just got to sit there and wait for your name to get called. A couple other players like Garrett Nussmeier had the same situation for other circumstances, but Emmett Johnson officially 161 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And DeMornay, I don't think he could have landed in a better circumstance.
Man, I'm telling you, it's regardless of where he went, it's all about situation. I mean, you're going to an amazing, organization as far as, being ran from head to toe. Position wise, I mean, you're right there. You got Eric Bieniemy as a coach. He's going to coach running backs. I mean, he coached Adrian Peterson, and I mean, Adrian Peterson, was his thing, but he commanded a certain amount of excellence from him. So, I mean, best situation from him, he's going to have a chance to compete. Even with, the guys that they have there and whatnot, I like the spot. I just wish it would have been a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I mean, he had to wait. I remember because I was sitting here live, so I was here 1 to 2 filling that block here for our live viewership on Saturday, and I'm sitting here, titled to stream, Emmett Johnson, NFL draft, whatever, and I'm sitting here, first break goes by. All right, we'll see if he gets picked during the break. Still didn't get picked. Second break, all right, we got 5 minutes left in the show. We'll come back. At about like 1:57, it was like I'm literally about to hit the outro music. I see his name finally flash up on the TV screen that he's going to the Chiefs. And I mean, man, oh man, like you said, Eric Bieniemy's back there, back at home, I would say, because I mean, he went elsewhere. The coaching ranks, went out to UCLA, was with the Bears for a bit as well. But when he was with Kansas City, that's where he's flourished during his tenure with the Chiefs. And you have Andy Reid there. The running back room, obviously, you're sitting behind a Super Bowl MVP during your rookie season. I don't think a whole lot of rookies, especially third-day rookies, can say that. And you have Kenneth Walker there. Isaiah Pacheco leaves, goes to the Lions. You have another running back, Amari, there as well from the Cardinals. So
running back 2 is not the craziest thing as a day 3 guy. And like I said, like the money obviously changes the later you get picked, but look at what you can do. I mean, the Chiefs have had different pick and plug running backs since, 2020. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was there for a bit. Isaiah Pacheco. You've mentioned some of the veterans as well that were there, but now you have a situation where you're going into this well-run organization, obviously a Super Bowl contender year in, year out. When you have Patrick Mahomes healthy, you have a very good situation on your hand because you're sitting behind a Super Bowl MVP. Not many running backs can say that because there hasn't really been a whole lot of Super Bowl MVP running backs across the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, he went off in the postseason, but he's had injury issues. He was on his way out regardless, even after his run there and everything like that. So I mean, he's going to get a chance to play. I definitely think he brings kind of what Kareem Hunt, when Kareem Hunt the first go around was with the Chiefs. I think he has that type of ability that he can bring to the room. I mean, both running backs. Like I said, it's a good situation for him. Andy Reid offense, they're going to utilize the running back. I mean, he likes, they put Emmett as a smaller guy. You can see Andy, Coach Reid definitely drafts, guys his statue, and it hasn't been a problem. And, they've definitely, hit the ground running from Pacheco to Kareem Hunt to Scrolls and everything like that. So, like I said, it was the best fit for him. 5th rounder, he's still going to have to compete for things or whatnot. But I like what he brings to the table for that organization.
And you mentioned like he's playing alongside a lot of really good skill guys too. You have Rashee Rice still. You still have Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton there. And then you have a rebuilt, I guess, offensive line protecting Patrick Mahomes. Do you think Patrick Mahomes playing week 1? Because Chris Raff just got telling me that he thinks he is. I said the same thing. You don't want to rush him back, especially when you have a Super Bowl window. You have the skill guys there. I know the season last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They had the 9th pick in the draft. But when you have Mahomes on the field, you're a Super Bowl contender, and you obviously don't want to rush that back and then end up in a situation where, oh no, we made a mistake.
Look what they just did with Pacheco. I'm not saying they rushed Pacheco back, but situations like that, they move right on from you. Like, he's the face of the organization, one of the faces of the league. You want to get that thing right. Of course, he wants to play and everything like that, but in situations like that, time is definitely more so than allowing him to rest is definitely more important than rushing back, especially, the first 6 games of the season. Like, you're not out of Super Bowl contentions, you're not out of playoff contentions, by week 6. So if you give him a little bit more time to kind of rest even more and whatnot, everything is still on the table depending on, how they handle business between then. But, they're definitely a different team with him out there. But again, it's no rush, and I expect him when he's ready. He is going to be out there, but week 1, I mean, it could happen, but why rush it? Just make sure take your time. I mean, the man is worth $300 to $500 million. They put a lot of stake into him. So I mean, he's going to do the right thing. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to make sure of things. I have no doubt about that. But it's no need to rush it.
If you'd love to be a part of the conversation, 402-464-5685, talking about Emmett Johnson getting picked with the 161st pick by the Kansas City Chiefs. GBR Captain on YouTube chimes in, says, Emmett Johnson isn't going to have a bunch of carries also, so he isn't going to get beat up in that sense, and he picks up blocks well. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He's not going to be asked to carry the ball like he did in Nebraska 25 times a game or whatever, and he's going to be, a complimentary back, essentially. I think it's like when we talked about Blake Corum and Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
Blake Corum, outstanding college back. So was Emmett Johnson. Blake Corum was a big part of that national championship the Michigan Wolverines had. So he goes to the Rams. He obviously probably should have been picked a little higher, I think, because he's a really solid NFL back.
I think he went 83rd. I was looking at that up today, actually. I want to say that might be 3rd round, I think.
Still, like a guy who, national championship running back.
2-time All-American.
Exactly. Goes to the Rams where they already have Kyron Williams, who has kind of made a name for himself as well. And Blake Corum gets his fair share of carries, gets his fair share of touchdowns as well. He's a complimentary back because you're not going to run Kenneth Walker 30 times a game. You also have Mahomes back there handing the ball off. He's going to pass. So you have a chance where, come down third down and you got fresh legs against a defense use
packages late in the season. Again, I mean, running back, like I said, Kenneth Walker has had injuries in the past. I mean, he kind of almost lost his position to Charbonnet, but I mean, an NFL team is going to need 3-4 running backs. So I like him there. I like the offensive scheme and everything like that. It's probably one of the better fits for him, what he brings and everything like that, and they're going to utilize him.
And then, they do a lot of maybe halfback screens and stuff like that. You get a catch.
They'll put him in. He's definitely. I say he's an upgrade probably from Pacheco. Pacheco thrived in that offense. I think he brings a little bit more. And they got Pacheco, I think, in the 7th round. I think
he was out of Rutgers.
Yeah. So he can definitely do what Pacheco was doing as well. And I think more in this, not just the screen game, but like what they were doing with Kareem Hunt, putting him in, that lining him up, out wide, as not wide receiver number 1, but in the X or the Z spot. You get him a matchup, one-on-one matchup in man or whatnot. He can definitely burn linebackers and everything like that. So I think he will thrive. Like I said, I think that's one of the better places he could have gone.
Well, yeah, and you even look at Kenneth Walker was a Wake Forest guy, transfers, was a Big Ten back with Michigan State. He was like a September Heisman hopeful at one point, running all over college teams. But Isaiah Pacheco, he was the 251st pick in the 7th round of his draft. He was one of the last couple of picks. What he was able to do his rookie year, he had 800 yards, 5 yards a pop, 5 touchdowns, a long of 31, a couple fumbles. He had a fumbling issue his rookie year from what I remember. But also you look at his second year, gets 200 carries, almost little under 1,000 yards, around that 4.5 yards per pop, and has 7 touchdowns. Those were both, obviously the Super Bowl years for him. And then obviously losing last year, he only played in 7 games, banged up in 2024, only 83 carries, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, yardage going down to under 4. And then last year, obviously only 13 games for him, 462 yards, 40 yards per play, and 1 touchdown. So remember, this is a guy who was a 7th round pick. He was 6th to last in the draft that year.
Yeah.
Out of Rutgers, Rutgers was not good. He was kind of the driving force of those Rutgers teams.
Yeah.
Gets plugged into the Chiefs system as a 7th rounder.
Takes off.
Exactly. He fit the right seat. Now you put Emmett Johnson, who, like you said, probably more versatile player than Isaiah Pacheco. He goes there. He's running back 2. He's going to be in a little bit of a battle. They have a solid
2 or 3. I mean, either way, it's going to come out. He can very well be 2. He can very well be 3. But I don't think anything outside of that.
So you have Kenneth Walker, obviously. After that, you have Amari DeMercado, who was he was like a pick and plug running back for the Cardinals, signed him on a team-friendly deal. He's listed as 2 right now on the unofficial depth charts, which he's a veteran player. Then you have Emmett Johnson, and then they have Brashad Smith. They also undrafted guy Jalen Ott. If you don't remember, he was the Cal running back when Mendoza was there. He was just at Oklahoma this past year with John Mateer and company. So another guy who, undrafted guys sometimes have a good impact. Jalen Ott is a speedster back. It's another guy maybe the Chiefs can do something with, because you land in the Chiefs organization, a lot has gone right. The Chiefs have done really well drafting in the last couple of years. Tyreek Hill wasn't even a big pick, and look what the Chiefs did with him. It's a very good situation for this guy. And while we're on the Chiefs, we don't want to talk about this. So you're saying Mahomes, you're in the same boat as me. Mahomes is not playing, not rushing back, probably missed the first month or month and a half, 2 months of the season, depending, how the team goes. You have Justin Fields there. Garrett Nussmeier's there. Garrett Nussmeier, obviously injuries, last year at this time, preseason college football, he's a guy where people had him maybe going number 1. And now he's here in the Chiefs, gets picked late in the 7th round, falls in the draft because injuries, whatever happened with interviews. He has that cyst problem that's very big that everyone's talking about right now, an unidentified cyst on his back where he may have surgery potentially. Garrett Nussmeier, weird situation where if Justin Fields, I trust Justin Fields in the system, but let's say Justin Fields is not great. Garrett Nussmeier's right there. Maybe he has a chance of playing. Of all the rookie quarterbacks, he might have one of the better chances of playing outside of Mendoza. And I mean, Ty Simpson's obviously sitting. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier's right there.
You got that, and I mean the Clemson quarterback that went to the Jets. I think that's a very good situation, you know, for him too. You got a veteran guy; he might take over late. Carson Beck, same thing with Arizona and everything like that. So you don't know. There's a few guys that have situations that they could work or that are in similar situations as that. But again, you got Andy Reid there. Who's going to harp on your strengths, who's going to give, you know, something similar to what Justin Fields had in probably Pittsburgh. So you don't need him to necessarily win the game or do anything crazy, just play within the system. And they're going to have that fine and situated. So I don't have too many concerns or anything like that with that. That is a solid QB room. You still, even if it isn't as what you kind of think of, you still have a upside rookie quarterback that you can deal some things in or whatnot. So they're solid, I think, at those two positions for sure.
So our unknown texter here, 9369 says he feels like this is the best situation for Emmett Johnson across the league. Andy Reid's system always benefits from dual threat backs, LaShawn McCoy, Kareem Hunt, etc. And he also said, yeah.
Between that, the other part, the other thing that might have probably went well would have been maybe Jacksonville if he'd have got drafted, you know, earlier and everything like that. Because I mean, that's, you know, wide open. Tennessee potentially, if Tennessee would have, you know, drafted him earlier, second round, third round, or fourth round, you know. So I mean, there are other situations to where, you know, things could have definitely popped, but I think he definitely went to one of the better situations with the Chiefs.
He also chimes in 9369 says it's giving him James White vibes with the Brady and the Patriots. That's another Big Ten back with Wisconsin. He was one of those multiple running backs at Wisconsin.
I wouldn't say James White. Like I said, what I see, I think Kareem Hunt is more closer to that. James White was different. Not to say that Emmett isn't or anything like that, but I think just of what they do, does he have similarities? Yes. Yeah. But I think he's closer to what Kareem Hunt was doing out of Toledo the first go around with the Chiefs. Not bad with James White, but James White is a little bit different. I could see Sonny Michel probably even as a closer comparison, just body size, body style, kind of running style and everything like that. Maybe a smaller version of a Joe Mixon even. James White was a different type of back out of Wisconsin. That's high praise, but I would have to see that on the NFL level first. Not to say that he can't do it, but I think he has other similarities to Kareem Hunt or Sonny Michel before James.
Some reason Deion Lewis, I'm not comparing him, he's another random Patriot back in there who is very reliable. They just had some very reliable running back rooms there in New England, which probably benefited why they won a lot of Super Bowls during that window. You mentioned a couple of those guys in Kareem Hunt. So Kareem Hunt was the 86th pick in his 2017 draft. I just stumbled upon the running back class in 2017.
Loaded.
Even
is that Kamara's draft or is that after Kamara?
Yes. So we'll go. Before we go to break, we might as well just run down these list of running backs who all made impacts for each said team and still are making impacts across the league. So number 4th overall pick was Leonard Fournette. Obviously Jaguars, they were decent when he was there with Blake Bortles. Then they had he went to the Bucks, obviously, to end his career. Christian McCaffrey is number 8 in that draft with Carolina, now with the 49ers. You have Dalvin Cook at 41 out of Florida State. That's 41. That's a second-round pick right there, and he's still solid running back, obviously getting up there in age. 48 was Joe Mixon to the Bengals at the time. 67 was Alvin Kamara, as mentioned. He was a steal. I mean,
third round back. I mean, that's crazy.
And in that same round, you had Kareem Hunt at 86 out of Toledo, a Maction running back who I was saying, like, maybe he was overlooked, but now I look at this running back class in retrospect, and
that running back class was loaded.
We're not even done here. We have 105 was James Conner, who obviously, crazy story, had cancer, obviously, then plays in that area, gets drafted by the Steelers. Now you at the Cardinals. Aaron Jones then was 182. So you keep going down. Two notable undrafted guys were Austin Eckler.
Yep.
And then Matt Breida, who had a pretty solid career as well with the 49ers. And also had a high volume guys as well during this draft. You had Chris Carson, who had a solid running in the NFL, not a very long one. You had Tariq Cohen, who had a very small time with the Bears. Was a speedster.
He was still dynamic. I mean, I want to say he was all pro for returner. So, I mean, he's an all pro guy. And
then you had Jamal Williams in there as well. This is just a handful of the running backs, like immediate impact running back class. Like, if like I said, like if you get picked, like Aaron Jones was 182, and he made a career out of this, and he still is making a career out of it to a point. James Conner's another guy. Those guys are picked.
Half the list that you said is still playing, or was playing within the past 2 years. So that's still what a 7-8 year career, like, and dominant, not just guys here and there. Like the majority of those guys that you said were number one guys for majority of those teams in their career.
And they weren't number one. They weren't first round. I mean, two of them were, but the rest of them were second round guys, had to wait a day. Some of those, Dalvin Cook, I believe, had to sit in the war room and wait it out because he was potentially being a top running back. And Emmett Johnson had to wait, but hey, you end up in Kansas City and you get to have a chance. Like I said, it doesn't matter really. I mean, the money is what it all comes down to, where you get picked. But some guys make careers out of being picked. I mean, even look at the wide receiver position. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, guys like that become all-pro players. I'm not saying Emmett Johnson's going to be an all-pro right now, but he has a skill set to do it, has the work ethic, and just a great guy in general. And you have a situation where in Kansas City, you have a chance to flourish right away because you have a competitive team right off the bat. So I think it'd be interesting if he gets a, first game, gets Kenneth Walker gets into the red zone, they sub him out, and maybe he gets a easy touchdown then because you have fresh legs. It's going to be very cool because the Chiefs are going to get a lot of primetime games just because they're the Chiefs right now. So Emmett Johnson, and it's ironic too, as a rookie, before we go to break here, he's already played a game at Arrowhead. I don't know how many players have a chance to play a game in the stadium. I know like Pittsburgh playing at Pitt, but like that's a home stadium. This was a neutral site game.
Miami, the guys at Miami played. Some teams, bowl games often are played in NFL stadiums. So, but it is definitely cool and unique that the team that drafts you, like, you've played there before.
Yep. So that is all the NFL draft. On the other side, we'll talk some more college football news. There's a quarterback currently in the news, DeMornay, Bren Sorsby. Hopefully, a lot of betting news. We'll talk a little bit about all this in the NCAA. And then the 5 for 5 is starting to get some traction, too. We can talk about that. Charlie Baker had some comments on that today, the NCAA president. We'll talk about that on the other side. DeMornay, Pierson-El, Nick Wyman holding it down here. Don't Punt Hour. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myInspartners.com.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all of the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Grant Wister. I co-founded Champ Roofing because I wanted to build a company with real integrity, the kind where you actually trust the people working on your home. We do roof replacements, inspections, gutters, and siding all across Nebraska, Lincoln, Omaha, and everywhere in between. Every job, we show up on time, do the work right, and stand behind it. That's what Champ is built on. Check us out at champ-roofing.com or give us a call at 402-858-7449.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
You can buy a mower just about anywhere, but at Acres, it's more than a mower. It's professionally set up before it leaves the lot. It's 0% for up to 48 months on select John Deere residential mowers. And it's a full-service department standing behind you. From lawn tractors to zero turns, we carry the lineup and support it for the long haul. This spring, make it more than a mower. Make it Acres. Offer ends April 30th. Subject to approved credit. See dealer for details.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams them.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
Welcome back. Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El, Nick Wyman holding it down here at 1040 O Street in the capital city. Just going to talk about Emmett Johnson heading to the Kansas City Chiefs with the 161st pick in the NFL draft. But shifting over some news in college football today. Brent Sorsby, quarterback, transferred from Cincinnati, Nebraska. Saw him week 1 last year at that game at Arrowhead Stadium where we saw Emmett Johnson play. Brent Sorsby is in some interesting news with gambling. Said he placed bets when he was at Indiana before his time in Cincinnati. in 2022. It sounds like he's under NCAA investigation for placing thousands of bets via a gambling app, according to ESPN. Swordsby bet on Indiana football games while redshirting for the Hoosiers as a true freshman in 2022. Those he placed were on Indiana to win, the team he was on, but Swordsby did not bet on a lone game he appeared in during that season. He appeared in that Indiana 45-14 home loss to Penn State in November that year. And then on Monday, obviously a statement came out with all that, asked for comment. Universities really didn't say much, but interesting waters. It's a guy who obviously was looking for a lot in the transfer portal to Mornay. And now this comes up and he's under investigation with the NCAA for a team that's, college football playoff hopefuls again, after they made it this past year playing Oregon in the quarterfinals.
I would say good for him from, stepping forward and getting ahead of it and seeking help. That is good. But, it's sad to say, I don't think this is going to be the last that we see, collegiate players kind of run into the situation. I definitely think they need harsher rules to kind of mitigate things or whatnot. And hopefully, it's not anything too harsh to where, messing up, his future with coming up this season or whatnot, because he's definitely an exciting player. People make mistakes. Like I said, he got out in front of it, owned it. He's doing things or whatnot. So hopefully, he learns from his lesson and, does better.
So you look at the current ruling for, sports betting violations in the NCAA. I have it pulled up in front of me right now. It says if a player wagers on his own sport at another school, the player could lose 50% of one season of eligibility. They must also receive education on sports wagering rules and etc. For all other violations such as pro sports, it'll depend on the cumulative amounts, which this isn't a pro sport issue. This is a college football. So half a season, which I don't know. Like you said, he got out in front of it. People make mistakes. He was a freshman at the time. So, dumb mistake, like a very dumb mistake. You look at it.
I mean, it's I don't know what his track record is necessarily after that season. If it's, less than what it is and everything like that, I think potentially like 3 games. You gave Michigan, who cheated. Harbaugh had a self suspension of 3 games. So, I think 3 games would probably be fair. I mean, that's your non-conference games and everything like that. You're punishing a school as well because he was projected to be a starter. So I think if any suspension does come from it, 2 to 3 games, I would, necessarily see fit, and, probably a close eye on kind of his transactions with things and whatnot. And then, a repeated kind of offender type situation, I think then things get worse. But like I said, I mean, he's taking steps to get ahead of things. He owned it and whatnot. So again, at the end of the day, he's still, a young adult. So I don't want to say too harsh on things or whatnot. That's why I said, I mean, I think 3 might be like I said, the ceiling. I can see 2 games and I wouldn't be mad at 2. Lesson learned and everything like that. And that just depends on, what things have been the past 2 years.
Exactly. This was like in 2022. He was a freshman. He obviously wasn't playing. He was just making, a dumb decision. He obviously admits it. He's getting the help he needs to get through it all. Obviously, that'll be a storyline throughout the college football season that begins. Their backup quarterback, Will Hammond's recovering from an injury as well. So that's another one out there. So Texas Tech will be a storyline to watch. Other news in the NCAA. Today, NCAA President Charlie Baker talked today and said that he's pretty optimistic that the new age-based eligibility proposal will happen. The D1 Board of Directors met earlier today and will recommend to not implement this rule retroactively for graduates exhausted eligibility. To quote Charlie Baker said, if you've used up your eligibility, you've used it up, Baker said, for the tenure of discussion. As mentioned, the age-based eligibility that was discussed by the D1 cabinet would give athletes a window of 5 years to compete in Division I sports, starting immediately after high school graduation or their 19th birthday, whichever of those 2 comes first. The next meeting is scheduled for May 22nd 22nd, where this could potentially, but not certainly, be voted on. So
there are bigger problems that need to be fixed than this. Like, this is not a serious issue. Like, I understand you have a few outliers and everything like that. I understand with the COVID situation, that should be resolved within the next year if it already hasn't, or 2. But still, like, this is not a problem that needs to be addressed. There are other bigger fish to fry than this, and it's very frustrating because the things you can choose to pick and really get solved and situated, you don't.
Here's another thing. I saw this game put in. Like, let's say you turn 19 on January 1st of your senior year of high school. So, obviously you're an older part of your grade. Your older part. There's people who turn 19 right before they graduate. So does that spring count as your 1 year of college eligibility then, since you're technically in the next year?
Look at the guys that have came to college early. Ryan Williams was what, 17 in college? Tony skipped a year. Like, I want to say, I think his senior year or whatever to come. So again, like that, you're affecting the guys that you're trying to get and everything like that. It's a physical sport. Things happen, injuries happen and whatnot. Like, that's not fair to guys that have season-ending injuries and you just lose the year. Like, there's nothing wrong with how things start now with, I think once you're done with high school and you get to a college, I think that's when things are supposed to start. Maybe fix that anybody outside of the Power 5 or FCF level that comes up still have 4 years to play. How about that issue? If you really want to adjust some things, maybe go back to, or even if you give them an extra year, instead of you still get all 4 years, maybe instead of all 4 years, they get 3, or go back to, if you played on the collegiate level at all, you still have 2 years for that. Like I said, there are other bigger issues to fry than this one. This one honestly pisses me off and is annoying. And y'all are pushing what you really need to fix later on down the line, which is unacceptable.
I love that you're fired up about this. I love it because
you're affecting
everybody
before they even get into it, and that's not fair.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Like you said, like Malachi Toney, I mean, the eligibility, like it's so, like you said, like you're just putting your fist in there in the candy bowl to touch everybody's hands.
What happens to the kids that reclassify? Then what?
That was my next question. That will just totally, completely.
You're in high school, but yet it still counts against you all, but you lose 2 years because you're technically not, you reclassified or whatever. So half of IGM players or whatnot, like, what does that situation look like? So I don't, again, like, you have other things to really focus on and to get right, and this is the thing that you choose is crazy.
It's you're basically just affecting X amount of players, but then you're also affecting everybody else. So you're just totally, and then recruiting, it'll throw everything off. I get it, the COVID years happened and all this, but you're just. And then I just don't like getting rid of the redshirting term, because that term has been used for years. It's been used for years. And you're just going to throw it out the window just because, I also, you got to think of, like, okay, in football, there's like Australian punters come over, like, 20-some-year-old Australian punters. They come over and get a degree. Are they just not eligible then anymore? Because some of those guys are really good punters. You probably saw a ton of those in the Big Ten throughout your entire collegiate career.
Like I said, it's frustrating that is what you focus on. There are other things to go to than that, and you give some schools, religious situations, BYU and everything like that. Like at some point in time, they're gonna look and say, well, you can put the games with you playing in 4. Well, then you're going to move to 8. Guys can play in 8 games. Or you might as well give them the 5th year to play anywhere. That's going to be the next thing that they get rid of. So you're creating problems that shouldn't be there from regardless. That part of the system is not broken. That part of the system is not an issue.
And it's not just football. You're affecting every sport. You're affecting everything. Like the entire NCAA.
You're changing the demographics,
and then
completely.
And it's not fair to the ones who obviously, let's say they've had an injury year and they're about to come back for the 5th year, and they're getting a 6th-year waiver because of injury or COVID year or whatever your reasoning is, and then they put this rule in there. And it's like, oh, sorry. It's just it's going to throw off the system, and I'm curious what this does for recruiting, what this does for, and you got to think it's like some sports they only have like bowling, they only have like 12 roster spots. Basketball, what's that do for basketball? I mean, it's going to have a trickle effect, not just at the Power 4 level, but all the way down to
you shrink the rosters. So now a lot more kids are going to have to play and do a lot more. That's going to create more soft tissue injuries, which could potentially lead to even more bigger injuries or whatnot. And on top of that, you're punishing them necessarily for that. So there's no win for the athletes at all.
It'll cause a ripple effect, literally and figuratively. And
that's not just what football. I mean, it affects football and probably the most way and everything like that. But holistically across, you cut scholarships from other schools and everything like that. So I think, and hopefully I'm wrong, like I think you will see an uptick in injuries.
It could happen. It could happen, and then what do you do? That's the next question.
You're gonna run into people going to the court to hopefully get another year, and you're giving yourself a problem later on down the road if this necessarily happens. But if you don't touch it and everything like that, it's fine. Or you might have a few outliers here and there or whatnot. So it's again, that's the one thing you choose to try and mess with, to try and fix or whatnot. Like, come on.
And the athletes come first. You're a student athlete.
Apparently not.
Apparently not from the NCAA. Depends which side you look on, but I see the athlete side of it. So we're going to go break. We'll wrap up the show on the other side. Good morning, Pierson-El, Nick Wyman. We'll be right back after this break. 91.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical. Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myInspartners.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Fans, are you craving the ultimate game day experience? Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill has your front row seat to all the action. Dive into delicious wings, juicy burgers, and ice cold drinks, all served up with TVs covering every inch of the wall, so you'll never miss a play. Rally your crew, cheer on your team, and take advantage of game night specials every week. Stop in for a Nebraska basketball game with a party of 4 or more and receive a free pitcher of beer. Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill, right by the Lincoln Airport at 3111 Northwest 12th Street.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently. Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Mike, I've been thinking, our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
Welcome back. Don't Punt Hour, holding it down here, the 10 o'clock hour. As always, Monday through Thursday on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Nick Wyman here in the 1040 O Street Studios. DeMornay Pierson-El streaming in as usual. DeMornay, so spring football is halfway through the season of the UFL. Battlehawks, hey, traded for Luis Perez. I saw that. Heck of a get, but Harrison Frost holding it down, the starting quarterback there. Earlier today, so the co-owner of the league, Mike Rapole, he was talking on the Pat McAfee show about expansion. And he, obviously Oklahoma City, they're adding them in 2028. He name-dropped a couple other city names. He name-dropped New York City, which they've done before with the Guardians, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Austin, Texas, which would be the third Texas team in the league. They had 3 last year with San Antonio going away. They have Houston and Dallas. Salt Lake City, who had a team in the Alliance of American Football. But he also mentioned Omaha, Nebraska as another expansion team, as a potential site. As I was talking to Chris Raff about this, but as somebody who has actually been rostered in spring football, I wanted to hear your thought. What would it like to have one of those teams in
Omaha would be second to St. Louis. That's if you're going to add, geographical maybe. I can see why. It's in the middle. You can go either way, but as far as a turnout and to kind of get juiced, and if you want what you have in St. Louis and everything like that, I think Omaha is the best place. And it's hard to Austin to be fine, but it's still Texas does good numbers, but if they bring a team to Omaha, it is going to end up like St. Louis.
And they're trying to have that. They're putting that soccer stadium together for the the soccer team in the area, the pro team, and they show up for them. You have the minor league baseball team there. People show up for them. You look at the Love Volleyball, the Storm, whatever, the Supernovas volleyball. People show up for that. That's, a volleyball state, but it's also a football state. And you have, 12, 13 games down the road, Memorial Stadium / Big Ten play / potentially a bowl game. But if you have another 10 weeks of football in the spring in Omaha where you have a game there, I mean, they did have the Omaha. So it's funny. The United Football League used to be a different league in the 2010s where the Omaha Nighthawks were part of the league. Mm-hmm. You have the branding there. You have the team recognizable. You throw it there. I mean, I think it's a perfect match because you can maybe have a little bit of a rivalry there with St. Louis. You have the Battlehawks and the Nighthawks. I don't know. It's on paper. It sounds right. You got to get, obviously butts and seats, but then you obviously need players. And if you can get some local Huskers on the team, former Huskers, there's some are in the league right now. Lamar.
I mean, if you're getting a team in OKC, travel wise, money wise, and everything like that, outside of maybe going to DC, and that probably might be your furthest, or Ohio probably, but Ohio is still
Orlando's probably your furthest.
I forget about Orlando. I forgot about them. But other than that, I mean, everything is still central.
Exactly. It'd be cool. I mean, it's easy to get to.
The city would love it. I mean, you have that right around the time with College World Series and everything like that, rolling right into football season or whatnot. I mean, marketing wise, I mean, it's a no brainer.
And then, I mean, right now you have so many former Husker players in the league right now across the board. Like I mentioned, like Adrian Martinez found success in there. Lamar Jackson's playing in Orlando. Matt Farnia, Carlos Davis has been really good player in all those years, whether it be in Birmingham, across the board where he's been. You have so many former players across the board who have built a name for themselves. Because like I said, the NFL, there's only so much a percentage that can make that roster. And it adds another layer in. I mean, the numbers are still good. The league's still going strong. They're expanding, so it has to be doing something right to keep people interested. I know it gets, kind of made a joke of the NFL community where it's like, oh, this is the whatever. But it's some good football. Like, I watch it every weekend. It's football.
It's solid football. It gives people their football fix and everything like that. The league is doing definitely well.
Exactly. And you have DC, Jordan Tom, still slinging it. The Flying Hawaiian still slinging it. They did make some trades. Did you see all the quarterback, Matt Corral, got traded? DTR was playing for Birmingham last week. I find it a very fun time. So I just want to hear your thoughts because obviously you're the one.
I mean, like I said, I think that will be a smart move.
Exactly. Hey, if there was a game there, if there's a Omaha,
I'm pretty sure Half the State will be there.
I'm curious where they play. I mean, if I get it, they're trying to play in these smaller soccer stadiums. Memorial Stadium. I mean, it's football. It's a football state. If it comes calling, if that ends up happening, I want to be down there for that inaugural game of the season. It sounds like you and me might have to tag team the coverage down there for the ticket. You and me.
I'll be down to do that.
You might be on the wide special teams coach. The leave opportunity. Demore the coach.
I don't know about all that. We'll see.
I try to throw you a bone there, but that's fine.
I don't know about all that. We'll see.
Maybe one day. But really fun hour. Demorne Pierson-El, as always, fun joining you. Harrison back tomorrow to fill in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that is all the time we have. Late Night Lincoln coming up next. 9017 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home